Good morning, everyone, or afternoon, whenever you're watching this. Josh here, obviously. I thought I would record a video looking at today's five picks, which you can see in front of you. It's kind of to glory, or maybe not, but fingers crossed. At least one of these can win to pay for the rest, and two winners would be nice, and three might be dreamland, but that's what this game is about. Obviously, the daily tips so far in 2018 have been a bit crap uh, or dire. They haven't been that good at all, really. Lots of placed efforts, mind, and I'll try and improve. I haven't quite hit the glory days of September to December last year. Thankfully, the festival tips have kept us going this year and have done quite well. But I really need to start upping my game when it comes to daily tips. And when you're in a kind of bit of a rut or not going anywhere, you can at times be paralyzed by indecision or scared to tip certain horses. And I've tried not to do that today. We shall see whether that proves to be foolish or not. But I will run through the five horses that I've gone for and kind of look at the reasons why. We start with the 150 at Uttoxeter. If I click on the instant expert here in Gigi's and kind of look at form in handicaps, I suppose what I found of some interest as a way in at least was Magical Thomas's win at the class, in the context that quite a few of these in here haven't kind of won at class 5 recently. There are a few class 4 winners in fairness, but there's quite a bit of red within this profile, which indicates to me the race may be open enough. And as such, taking one at a price may be no bad thing. The ground isn't a problem. This horse has actually won over 18 furlongs, as you can see there, and that was at Fontwell. So I think obviously class and distance are fine. If he can kind of use his stamina, and I'll get onto that in a moment. What I thought was interesting in terms of my daily tips with jumps horses have always been a bit naff, in fairness. I don't know whether that's because I've been focused too much on unexposed horses which actually haven't done anything as yet, and I'm trying, I suppose, to refocus my mind on jumps horses that at least have some kind of previous winning form to return to. But at the same time, their times may still be mileage within the kind of number of runs they've had, although that obviously doesn't ring true with Workbench later on, who's more of an exposed older horse, but I'll get onto him shortly. What did I like about this one? Well, the fact is Mark's come down kind of £3 since his return. It's his third run after a break, his third run of the summer. He gets a further £3 off with Harry Reid's claim. And the jockey change I thought was of some interest, at least is doing something different, and the claim may help. What I suppose caught my eye, as well as that initial kind of weigh in with that kind of class stats, was looking at his rest pattern. So 2 runs ago, he returned after 219 days. He then returned 43 days after that, which is long enough for a jumps horse's second run after a break. And he ran well enough. Actually, at the second last, he was kind of jumping in and around the leaders, but then couldn't quite go with them. But he plugged on, and that was a step forward from the run before. He returned 17 days after that run, and I think I do like that kind of progression, I suppose, in returning after fewer days from the run before. Hopefully, fingers crossed, on this third run, he might be hitting peak fitness. He isn't exactly over raced as a 6-year-old. He hasn't had, I think he's 1 from 11 in handicap hurdles. That win was at Fontwell on Good to Firm, where he took a keen hold and made all, and that intrigued me as well. I did wonder with his extra stamina assured whether or not they might get him up there and be a bit more aggressive. In fairness, Scotsbrook Knight kind of led and was up there for a time last time. He's well fancied. He's yet to win, but his consistency may be enough here. But Magical Thomas should be up there right in the van in what I call a no excuses position. which should be just fine in a race like this. It looks fairly weak, bar the kind of top two in the market. Tidal Watch is a bit odd, given they could have ran him because that win 3 days ago was in a conditional jockeys race. They could have ran him without a penalty in a standard, in a kind of normal handicap hurdle, if you wish. That's not just restricted to conditional jockeys, but they take the £6 penalty and run here. Now that either means they're really, really confident that he can defy this mark also, or it's a bit of rubbish race planning, or they just want to run him quickly while he's in form. He didn't exactly hack up that day and kind of swing into the race and win with an obvious amount in hand. He drops in trip a bit here, but clearly he's young, unexposed, and in form, so I won't fall off my seat if he runs a good race. Nor will I Scotsbrook Knight, who ran 8 days ago. Again, a decent enough run there. He seems to be taking a step forward with each run also, but he has yet to win, and 11-4 for a horse which is now 0 from 15, 4 places in their career, may seem short enough. That consistency may well be rewarded, or there may be an issue about whether or not he actually puts it in. I suppose we shall see today. So that was Magical Thomas. I thought, given the rest pattern and all those things I've just discussed, that kind of between 8-1 and 9-1 was probably a few points too big, given I did think there were signs of revival last time. And if he could get back to that win and that run at Fontwell, near the front end and kicking on under Harry Reid, he might outrun those odds, which would be welcome. What else should I say with him? Oh, he's top rated on Inform Speed, which is, it's another, well, it's a positive at least. So there's a kind of a case to be made on the numbers, or some support on those particular time figures. If I stick with Uttoxeter before I head over to Catterick, here we've got Workbench. Going for an older horse can sometimes mean trouble, but having looked at the race, you can see there's kind of quite a few older horses in this race, and it's not exactly like he's bumping into plenty that are unexposed. What did I want to say on him? Well, if I look on that Instant Expert, I suppose the race looks fairly competitive from that perspective. But he is now £6 below his last winning mark. All conditions are fine. What interested me, when you look at that race card there, you can clearly see the trainer form indicators for GG's, and Skelton is just red hot, and the only trainer that is red hot. But of course, there are some horses in form near the bottom that I'll touch on in a moment. But in the last 14 days, 27 runners, 11 winners. A further 2 have placed. Pretty good going. They're going pretty well. It was the return of Headgear. These older horses and doing something different, especially with headgear switches, is never a bad thing. He last won at Sandown, you can see there. He's actually 0 from 17 going left-handed over fences, but when you look back through that form, which I might do now actually, this is one of those things that can be deceptive. If I look at direction here, you can see there that he's 0 from 17, 2 places, but when you look back through the form, especially in recent years, Class 2 handicaps, he came second at Cheltenham, being 3 lengths off 137. I think it's fair to say, just on that run, you couldn't say left-handed isn't for him. More Class 2s, Grade 3s, unsuitable soft ground, arguably. So I'm not, given his price, his double figures, I'm not going to say that he doesn't like going left-handed. I don't think that's correct. Well, on my reading of it anyway. What have we got here? Since he returned kind of in May after a short break, he returned off 124. He's what there, 4, 5, 6, 7 pounds less now. You can see they then ran over hurdles. He ran over 19 furlongs in a Class 3, didn't run too well in fairness. Then ran over Stratford over a trip too far. Again, that's what I like, the idea that he's now dropping back in trip. 20 furlongs is kind of his trip now, I think, at this age. And like I said, just with that headgear, with the Instant Expert, and the fact that this is a race generally full of older horses and a few that are in worse form or not in great form either, combined with the trainer strength. You've got Modeligo. He's never won from a mark this high. He's 0-4, 0 places with marks that are in a certain range, I think 110 or higher or something. That's not impossible, but he has had 59 days off also, and I think that race fell apart from memory. But in any case, he steps up in trip also. Ever so much does look the main danger, but he's a 9-year-old. He's gone up £10. You know, if these top five run up to their marks, for example, he's clearly got to find another £10. That's not impossible that none of them run up to their marks and he just improves a bit more, and that's enough. He did hack up the last day. I'm not quite sure how strong that race was. Last two runs at Hexham Class 4 and Class 5s are never the kind of greatest in terms of strength. But he is a chaser who is in form and who's at the top of his game. Hopefully the £10 mark and this kind of slightly hotter opposition, I think, may do for him. But again, he deserves to take his place at the top of the market, and I won't fall off my seat if he goes well. But there are reasons why at double figure price, I thought Workbench may now come back to form. It could be he's completely out of form, but he drops back in trip. He gets the headgear returning, his handicap marks come down, and Skelton is red hot. Although when he last ran, he wasn't exactly out. The trainer wasn't exactly out of form. But I thought there were some reasons there to be hopeful. There's a bit of pace on to aim at as well. Harry will probably have him in a kind of mid-division. There isn't a chance that one should get away on the front end, touch wood, and hopefully he can track the pace. And if good enough, he'll be in the right spot. So that was him. There are a few things there, a couple of things he's doing different in the context. All race conditions look fine, and the trainer is red hot as well in what looked like an open enough race. And of course, as I touched on, his handicap mark is fine. What am I getting on to next? That's Uttoxeter Catterick. Monica Rose, I've gone with one that's under 6 to 1, but I thought 5 to 1 was worth a chance if I click round to the 3 o'clock at Catterick. What did I like here? Well, I suppose it was the fact that this one showed a kind of return to form the last day. Travelled well behind the pace, couldn't quite pick up. That was over 14.5 furlongs. I'm not quite sure she quite sees out that trip, but in any case, the handicap mark has dropped. From kind of in 2 handicap marks has dropped £5. She takes a drop in class here, and Paul Hannigan returns. He hasn't been on for a while, and he is the main man for Richard Fahey, and I just thought that looked interesting. The other thing that I liked was the pace. She will try and lead. She also drops into a fillies handicap, I should say, from and last time out was open to colts, geldings, all sorts. So she'll be in the right spot, I think, for this track and a field size of just this many runners. The Mark Johnson horse will be up there. The other thing I should click on again was the Instant Expert. You can see the kind of green and amber there in a race, especially the class where the others have it to prove. And the handicap mark is fine. I did like the fact that she has one on soft. And she handles cut in the ground from kind of good to soft through to soft. I think this ground might be drying out, which will help some of the principles, of course, but it's not rattling fast ground, and if there is cut, she will handle it when there's questions for others. The dangers do look to be the 3-year-olds, but they do have to prove it. India needs to kind of step forward, which she may well do given she hasn't run many times and given her relations, but that's short enough in that context, I think, because she does need to show more. The Mark Johnston horse has been running well on rattling quick ground, hasn't exactly been hacking up, got beat last time on an exposed one in fairness, but again, it takes up a step in class to class 5, and I thought 2 to 1 in that context may be short enough, but she will race on the front end, and she's a 3-year-old and she's unexposed, and of course she gets quite a bit of weight with the allowances from Monica Rose, but I thought there were reasons why she might not win and maybe worth taking on. So hopefully Monica Rose can be up there. I thought 5 to 1 was probably a point and a half too big in the context of this race. Maybe it'll be foolish taking on the 3-year-olds, but I thought there were reasons to do so. So that's that one. Is there anything else I want to say on that? No, I don't think so. I'm trying to rush through, and I'm through to 14 minutes already, and no doubt I may have missed the odd thing. What I thought was interesting about this particular race, again, it is drying out, but if not, Foxtrot Knight should handle the ground no problem. In terms of his handicap mark to old handicap marks, he's actually below. I like the fact that a few of Roof Cars in the last few days have kind of come back to form. The yard. I'm not sure if they're ever out of form as such, but there's been a few winners there in recent days and a few running better than they have been. This one has just been running in good races, really, and running in races that have produced a lot of winners and horses that have run well, as you can see there. I think I tipped this one once upon a time in that run at Pontefract there, where he just got beat. James Sullivan jumps back on, ran well in a Hamilton Class 5 against Marnie James. That horse came out and won since, and you can see the form there. Dapper Man was a horse in form, but he did best of the rest, chasing that one home. I just thought he looked interesting. Kinloch Pride, the price doesn't matter. This one's won at 20 to 1, as you can see there at Musselburgh. I just thought, if I click over to Horse Race Space, you can see here, the form at Catterick, she's 2 from 4, 3 places over 5 furlongs here. That interested me. The ground, she is best on good to firm, but she's got a decent run on good to soft and soft, so I didn't want to put that off, and it is drying out, so I'm not going to use that as an excuse. What I thought was interesting, she was ahead of Alsvinda in that air run, and she's got a £17 swing on that horse now. She was receiving £3 in that air race, but now with the jockey claim receives £17. That interested me. I thought that should, in theory, bring them a bit closer. You would like to think. This one is in form since switched to front running tactics, but did get an easy lead up the rail that day at Hamilton. Is going to have to step forward again. And I just thought this one was running into form. She travelled well at Musselburgh there in that race, but didn't get a run, and the jockey decided early to switch her wide to the middle of the track, losing. I think that would have cost her a few lengths. Plugged on well enough. Landing Night was ahead of her there. I think if they're on the same part of the track, they'd have been pretty much neck and neck. I just thought the price was a bit big, given the handicap marks come down below her last winning mark. She's got the jockey claim. She's a course and distance winner. She generally runs well here in a race which I also thought, I suppose this was the final point, it might set up. Alsvinda likes to get on with it, and that has made the difference to his change in form, so you'd like to think he's going to try and make all. Seems to can be up there. Penny Dreadful likes to lead and get on with it. Paco Escobar, Escostar even, or Ecostar, no, Escostar, took a keen hold and led the last day also. I just wondered if 3 of these might go at it and help set it up for one just behind the pace, and Foxtrot Knight and Kinloch Pride should track the pace. I thought in the context of this race, those 2 horses were overpriced. I've taken on one of Nick's picks in Penny Dreadful, so we'll see how that goes. And of course you do have a winning horse in form here at the top, but hopefully if the handicapper now has him and he won't get an easy lead here, this kind of opens the race up, and I thought those 2 might be in a good position to kind of strike. And Kinloch Pride's price just seemed a bit ridiculous to me, but we'll see if I've got that right or not. And Foxtrot Knight seemed a couple of points too big. So I think that's the rattle through those 5 horses. No doubt there's a few other things I thought about when looking at them, but there are reasons why all of them I thought may improve on recent form. And at least with these 2, they've kind of been running well. And actually, all of the selections, bar Workbench, actually have shown some okay form recently. And there are reasons for why he should bounce back, as touched on. So as I tick around to 20 minutes, another quick video. But hopefully you found something of interest there, and I'll leave it there. Fingers crossed, at least Monica Rose can win and pay for the rest. And then hopefully we can add 1 or 2 more. Would be delightful, as it's about time I jumped into some kind of form. But we shall see. Good luck if you're following me in, you brave souls. And until the next time, this is Josh saying thanks for watching. Best of luck, and yeah, until the next time, bye for now.